Congratulations. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, you are at the point where you've had clear to close on your loan, whether it's a refinance or a purchase. We've done a couple of videos on reading the loan estimate and the closing disclosure, but I wanted to cover what happens on closing day. So let's run through a few tips here on how to make this a smooth and flawless mortgage closing. So before the closing day, I feel it's really important that you get to review with your loan officer the final closing disclosure. And there's some things I want you to check on there. Number one, I want you to make sure that the monthly payment is what you expected. The cash to close is in line with what you expected. And that number does shift a little bit during the underwriting process, but it should be very close to what you expected. And then the closing costs, obviously, that ties into your cash to close also. Make sure those are right and that there is no surprises on there. Let me speak briefly to the home warranty. And you may be paying for one, or maybe the seller is paying for one. I believe these are super valuable. In fact, I had a realtor in my office last week who said, I usually never do home warranties on my own personal stuff. However, she did one on this home that she just closed on a month ago. And there have been problems that were not discovered in the home inspection that have popped up now, and the home warranty company is taking care of. So I highly recommend a home warranty, whether you pay for it or the seller pays for it. Just keep in mind that if you have something that goes wrong, say the water heater goes out, you need to call the home warranty company to have them get their contractor out there to fix it. You can't just call your next door neighbor or buddy who's a plumber to come fix it. So they're worth it to have. The other part of this before you get to closing, and let me say a few things on this, is about getting your wire sent to the title company or escrow company that you're using. I believe that once you see the final closing disclosure, you should get that wire sent. Wires are the way to go. They're certified, and there's no holding period on those. A word of caution here, there is wire fraud happening. So before you send the wire, you need to call the title company and verify every bit of info on those wiring instructions, the ABA routing number, the account number, the name on the account, and make sure it's legit so that your money is going to the right place. The other thing that I would caution you on is if you bank at a small regional bank and you do not live in that town anymore, say you grew up in Mississippi, but now you live in Houston, and you need to send your down payment funds from that Mississippi bank, please contact them ahead of time and make sure that they're going to be okay to send that wire without you being present in the branch initiating that wire. We've run into a few situations where clients have gone to send their wire and the bank won't send that wire without you physically being in the branch ordering the wire. So check on that early on, please. All right, on closing day, this is a great day. Everything should go smooth here. So make sure you bring 2 forms of ID for everyone signing on the loan. Bring that to closing. One of those forms needs to be a government ID, government issued ID, like a driver's license or a military card or a passport. During the closing, make sure you fully understand what is the date of your first payment and the name of the company that the payment will be made to. So as you're aware, most likely your loan will be sold, and you need to be aware of who that payment is going to go to. Many times I see at closings, I don't say many times, but sometimes I see at closings, the escrow officer, title officer who is going through all the closing documents, and it may be a thick stack. Sometimes they rush through it. If you have questions, slow it down and say, wait, I have a question. Do not walk out of there with questions going, what in the world did I just sign? This is a legal binding contract that you're signing. It's a big deal, Make sure you understand things. If you are a very, very detailed person and you want to read every single word of the whole closing package, I would contact your loan officer before the closing, at least the day before, and say, I want to read everything first. Please send me the closing package so that when you go to closing, it's smooth, flawless. And I honestly had a client who sat in the closing room for 4 hours because we did not know they wanted to read every single document in there. All right, a few additional tips. Some of these pertain to after closing. So your loan will fund after the closing, right? And your realtor or loan officer will let you know, congrats, the loan has now funded. You now have ownership. And if it's a purchase, the realtor will facilitate the transfer of all the keys, the garage door openers, etc. Please be aware that all the way through loan funding, the lender is going to continue to monitor your credit. So even if you've signed papers at the title company, do not run out and buy a bunch of furniture, buy a new car on credit. Okay. Make sure that the loan has funded and then even wait till the next day before you make all those moves. Depending on the state you live in, when you buy a home and it gets recorded with the county, it becomes public record. That generates a ton of junk mail. Just be ready to be bombarded with junk mail and know most of it is junk. They're going to make it look official. They're going to make it look serious. They're going to make it look important. So always, if you have any question about whether it's legit or not, contact your loan officer. And remember, earlier on, we said, who is the payment being made to? Whatever that name is, like United Wholesale Mortgage or Caliber Home Loans or Mr. Cooper or whoever it is, that's who you're watching for in the mail, because those are legit. Also, you need to keep an eye on your mail. That is how they notify you if your loan is being transferred or sold from one servicer to another. They will send you a goodbye letter and a welcome letter so that you can match those two up. If you ever have questions whether it's legit or not, call your loan officer and call your current servicer to say, hey, did you sell my loan? And they'll tell you yes, and to whom they sold your loan. Again, this should be a smooth and flawless situation. No surprises at the closing table. Hopefully these tips help you in going through that closing process. Congrats on getting to this point, and congrats on that new home. My name's Miles Pitcher. I'm the owner of Superior Lending. Thanks for watching this video.